Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's your sexual fantasy that's probably going to stay a fantasy? I stop working but the paychecks keep coming in, and nobody says shit. I just came. The checks kept coming. Well, unless something miraculous happens, I don't think Salma Hayek will ever return my affection. Have you tried writing a movie where she drips tequila down her leg and you write yourself into the role of the character that drinks it from her foot? Found Tarantino's Reddit account. Unfortunately, size-altering technology will likely remain in the realm of science fiction, so my dreams of sleeping with a woman 10x my height will continue to just be dreams. You tryna fuck a titan, bro? Death by SNU. All of them at this point. I turn 80 next month. Heard retirement homes are dens of depravity. Highest concentration of STDs and weed. 5 to 7 women wearing lingerie helping me sort my bulk MTG cards. Edit. Lol, I'm happy that people found this amusing and or relatable. Also, I was thinking if I have them sorting the bulk anyways, some test games with homebrew commander games would be awesome. The new WUBRG, women, in, underwear being really good. I want my wife to give me a blowjob while I sleep. But I'm such a light sleeper I'll wake up the second she touches me. A frying pan does wonders to fix light sleepers. Cast iron or stainless steel. Someone reading my mind and wanting the exact same things without having to ask, explain, or negotiate, basically impossible, but that's the fantasy. This is a fantasy one have about everyday life in general lol. I've read more than 100 comments, but I haven't seen a mention of tentacles. That's because everyone knows tentacle fantasies come true. I've been waiting for Henry Cavill to show up at my door with flowers and an apology for taking so long. At this point I think he got lost. I think anyone with eyes would agree, haha, I'm a straight male but man is he ever a hot piece. I mean the dude legit looks like he was chiseled from marble by a divine being. It's peak male form. Kidnapping and kept as a pet, melting face, a power dynamic with a crazy wide disparity, but would absolutely ruin me. Stockholm Syndrome final boss. My GF is into that too, with a more, abuse me, bent. It's a lot of fun, but doing 24/7 that gets tiresome, especially for me. You don't grow as a person and other stuff. But short experiences of consensual non-consent, of many kinds, feel incredibly unique. Especially with new people. Subdrop is a thing but not a lot of people talk about the dom drop and how mentally taxing that can be as well. Probably getting fucked by twins, the idea that they're siblings is Blair, but IDK the fact it's two people who look identical seems interesting, like will their dicks look exactly the same as well? Say goodbye to your inbox. If it works out, she should say goodbye to her box, too. Specific people. I think there's a lot of people who would answer this way and have it not be some celebrity. If we're being honest, probably most people lol. Like that one guy's wife. I also choose that one guy's wife. I want to have sex with my wife's twin. I just don't think Steve would be into it. Now there was a curveball I wasn't expecting. Having a normal sex life, one where it's expected and allowed to be like, hey, wanna have sex tonight? And the question is usually answered in an enthusiastic affirmative without any bad feelings or pressure for either party. Been there. I feel this. Please discuss this seriously with your so. It can lead to all sorts of bitterness and resentment on both sides. Thank you for that, but we've discussed it a ton. It just stresses her out. It's something she has to want to fix, physically, and I don't think the drive is there besides her other medical problems that have to come first. Personally, I've only been in dead bedroom situations my whole life, so there's probably some psychological dysfunction on my side too, just that I can't perceive despite my best honest introspection. For example, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you a list of 3 things that turn her on. But how do you ask someone who wants nothing to do with sex? Maybe I just kinda inherently expect to feel unfulfilled in that way, or feel undeserving, undesirable. Otherwise, things are great, so, best is probably to just let it go. I think we get wrapped up on Reddit and other social media into the idea of, there's someone out there for you, and, everyone can find the sex life they want someday, but in reality I'm pretty sure studies show the vast majority of men out there are also living sexless lives, even behind the curtains of marriage. Better at least to be loved. A dream where I see myself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at me. Thought I was the only one. Some people are just way better at utilizing their imaginations than I am. Having sex with a woman that loves me back. Having a woman that likes you. Probably getting very aggressively gangbanged, but damn I like to fantasize. Edit, 11 hours later to add, I'm a lurker and I don't know what came over me even answering this morning, but it's been an extremely wild day and thank you all for your contributions, cold sweat smile. Rip yo your DMS. It's been an extremely fun morning so far. I remember telling my boyfriend that some sexual fantasies I wouldn't ever want to actually act out, and he was so confused. And I had to explain that in a sexual fantasy, you're entirely in control. Nothing happens that you don't enjoy or want to happen. And fantasies that involve multiple men are a great example of something that's great as a fantasy when you control everything, but in practice, not only difficult to coordinate but legitimately dangerous. Exhibitionism. The risk feels way too high to be worth it, and I'd feel too gross in reality because the public probably did not consent. Sire, there are places where you could have sex in front or around others with their consent. We need a hang glider, and a crotchless Uncle Sam costume, and I want the entire field of your largest stadium covered end to end with naked redheads, and I want the stands packed with every man that remotely resembles my father. Tried this before and it wasn't as fun as you'd think. That one man's wife, the one that is dead. A classic. Gillian Anderson sitting on my face. Dear Gillian Anderson, I did not appreciate your lawyer's tone. Quote, Fox that you. Being hugged by a humanoid with wings. Read that as hemorrhoid LMFAO. No kink shaming. Found the romantasy reader. I think it could be that a woman dominates in bed. I don't mean any bondage or south, but just seductive sensual taking control of what is happening. One time my wife grabbed my wrists and pinned them to our headboard, and I swear my soul exited my body. Tried that with the ex. He thought I was going to tickle him and he threw me off. Sprained my wrist catching myself. Explained what I was going for, but he didn't trust me not to tickle him. Not for everyone, I guess. Hey, that's pretty tame and easy to manage TBH as long as it's not the extreme stuff. You just gotta ask the woman. I'm sure most will be happy to indulge and will also like it. Everyone likes to have a bit of control. It really depends. My ex was very into being in control. But she could just never hold it together. After the first 10 seconds she'd just start giggling and was never able to actually go any further. Damn, my literal fantasy is to blindfold a guy, tie him up, do what I need to do, he has no say in this, and then once I'm done, regardless of whether he's had enough, I'm leaving. If I'm feeling generous, I'll untie one hand. IDGAF what he gets out of it, if anything at all. Till no takers. Apparently, that's too much. Everything but the being trapped on the bed after sound like it could be a good time. Having sex with my wife on a public nude beach with a lot of people watching. My wife and I did this in the Caribbean, but it wasn't a nude beach. And there were no other people around. Some people did walk onto the beach about 2 minutes after we finished though, so a little thrilling. They saw you, they waited. Being dominated by athletic tomboy girl. Finally, a man of culture. Many people here need to find FetLife, the site where you find people with the same fetish in your area. If you guys live in metropolitan areas, you can absolutely find people to do stuff with. Just be responsible as doms and as subs. Trust goes both ways. Have fun, you minxes. Probably going to remain a fantasy reads to me as probably shouldn't indulge, as opposed to don't think I'm able to find a match, or am I misreading? Up above there's 2 people who want to stand on a pyramid surrounded by 1,000 women throwing pickles at them. Maybe they'll find hundreds of matches, but 1,000. Not going to happen. Big titty were wolf mama destroying and pulverizing my pelvis. These are some insane replies, you're all loudly crying. Banging an alien, and by alien I mean a conventionally attractive humanoid woman that is blue or green or purple or some shit. But she has to actually be an alien, not a human with body paint. Local man poisons wife with colloidal silver for Smurf fetish. A free-use partner. Whenever I'm in the mood for any sexual activity, I can just go to them and do it. No negotiations, no coordination, just doing the thing I want in that moment. This, at least from the other perspective in my case, lol. Now you two just need to negotiate. Face-sitting, would love a nice ass on my face. This is a very achievable ask. I hope you get this soon. A threesome with the wife plus one. So, foursome. It's so ambiguous that he could mean 3, 4 or 5 people. A threesome, involving the wife and another person. A threesome, which includes the wife, plus another person. A threesome, plus the wife, plus another person. Quote. Humiliation, degradation and misogyny during sex. I hate the fact that I have this fetish. I want it to stay just a fantasy and I will never allow it to happen IRL. I just like to imagine it when I masturbate. Hey, don't hate yourself. Fantasy and real life are often completely separate. We don't always get to choose what arouses us, so whatever makes you come doesn't always has to say something about you as a person. Actually, degradation and humiliation is a very common kink, even among otherwise confident people with high self-esteem. It's not always just about the humiliation and mistreatment, sometimes it's also about the thrill, danger or extreme nature of the situation. It's an overstimulating scenario charged with intense emotion. It's not weird at all that the idea can be arousing to many. I love watching violent movies and playing violent video games, but I never want to get into any real physical altercations. Don't beat yourself up for having an entertainment preference that doesn't reflect your real-world values. Honestly, the kind where everything lines up perfectly with the right person at the right time. Sounds simple, but rare enough to stay a fantasy for most people. This happened to me, if what you're saying is what I think you're saying. I was freshly out of a relationship, got cheated on, and I was pretty fucked up. For the first time ever I decided to get on a dating app. I just wanted to meet someone new to help fill the void, but I was also fine with a quick fuck. I was never the type of guy to do something like that. But I was tired of being me and wanted to be someone else for a while. I matched with this girl who was surprisingly attractive for being on an app like this. This was back in like 2013, there was still a stigma around dating apps. I met her at a smoothie place and she was drop-dead gorgeous. I was a bit intimidated. I kept it together and it turned out we were both in the same boat. Like our situations were identical. She'd never done anything like this before either. She told me her story and I told her mine. After about an hour, we shared a few seconds of silence before she drummed on the table and sighed and looked up at me. She said, "You want to fuck?" That night we did everything. Everything. It was some of the best sex I had ever had because it was purely selfish for the both of us. It was just animalistic, primal, hot sin, and when it was over we were both just in cloud nine. I think it helped us that we were both in so much pain over another person. She knew what it was for me and I knew what it was for her, and neither of us were in danger of catching feelings. This went on for a few months. Every Friday, we'd meet around 9 p.m., fuck for an hour or so, and then say goodbye. She'd sometimes ghost me for a couple of weeks, and then I'd get over here, text, and I always did. One time she ghosted me and just never texted me again. I assumed she must have found someone worth pursuing and left me behind. It actually did hurt a little that she didn't formally say goodbye. I did feel a little like a used dildo lol, but I got over it and met someone awesome a year later. We were both in the right place at the right time to heal one another.